sometimes it helps to have a physical picture. And again, we're continuing through our series in Exodus, and we're in Exodus chapter 28, and this chapter is about the consecration of the priests and how the priests were dressed. And the things that you see here are mentioned in this chapter: the blue robe, the ephod, the girdle, the breastplate, the mitre on the head, and of course the onyx stones. And there you'll see. But when we come to Exodus chapter 28, this is what we read. Now take Aaron your brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that he may minister to me as priest. Aaron and Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty. You shall speak to all who are gifted artisans, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, and I make Aaron's garments to consecrate him. He may minister to me as a priest. That's all I would like to read. But whenever I was looking at the start of this chapter, before we get to the close of the high priest, we may look at some of them as we go through the series. Some things sort of struck as I was reading through. The first and obvious thing is that the priesthood here in Exodus, and we know from the Old Testament, it was from the family of Aaron and the tribe of Levi. So it was a family that was separated. Remember that God came to Moses, excuse me, and remember this in the middle of the instructions about the tabernacle. And all of a sudden God comes to Moses and says, now Aaron is to be separated and his sons. And so priesthood was by family. And we know for Christians, as a New Testament, we're told that every Christian is a priest. 1 Peter 2, we are a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices. And we'll come back to that later. And in 1 Peter 2 verse 9, we're a royal priesthood to witness. The second thing I notice in verse 1 is that it says that he may minister to me as priest. The priesthood function was to God. And that reminds us of 1 Peter 2 verse 5 for us as Christians, that we're told to offer spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ. And so as priests, as Christians, the things that we offer as spiritual sacrifices, our time, our money, our resources, our gifts, our prayers, basically the whole of our lives are just like this priesthood. It was a physical priesthood, and for Christians it's a spiritual priesthood, and we offer up those spiritual sacrifices just as to God, just as the priest was to minister to God. Then we notice there's a list of names, and then we notice in verse 2 there's holy garments, and then we notice in verse 3 he was to be consecrated him. Consecrated, verse 3, they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him. And so we see that Aaron was to be consecrated with these holy garments, and that word consecrate means to be set apart and holy. And actually that Hebrew word goes right back to Genesis chapter 2. Remember, on the seventh day God sanctified it, or set it apart. It's used in Exodus chapter 13 of the firstborn, sanctify them for me, and also Exodus chapter 20 of the Sabbath day. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, keep it separated and dedicated to me. It reminded me of the need for us as Christians, as every Christian is a priest, that we need to consecrate our lives as holy for him. The Bible says, 2 Timothy chapter 2, that we pursue holiness. Hebrews 12 talks about the fact that we have to pursue holiness, which no one will see the Lord, and that is the need for us. today as Christians. And also there's something wonderful. We'll look at that in a separate video about these verses in relation to the Lord Jesus. But for now, let's remember that the priesthood was through the family line. It was to be ministered to me, so it was to function before God, and it was to be consecrated to God as well. Thank you for listening.